Hi, I'm Dr. Toby Sanchez, a clinical psychologist at the Early Psychosis Intervention Center, also known as Epicenter in Tucson, Arizona. For the past 20 years, I've worked with people who faced different types of mental illness and obstacles in their life. A personal passion of mine is to help family and friends better understand mental illness and what can be done to help. In this video, I will share some guidance on how you can help a family member, perhaps your son or daughter, or a friend, who may be experiencing symptoms of early psychosis. Research has shown that family involvement greatly improves outcomes for people who are suffering from a mental illness. And the way family members talk and connect with a loved one can really make a difference. Some questions we'll answer. What are some common symptoms of psychosis? What are some important things to consider before you intervene? What are some responses you may encounter? What are some helpful communication strategies for this type of situation? What are some safety considerations and helpful resources for crisis? What is psychosis? Psychosis is a brain disorder that makes it difficult for a person to determine what is real and what is not real. Symptoms of early psychosis often present gradually. For example, the person may experience some thought and perceptual disturbances that start mildly and become more pronounced with time. Persons experiencing these changes are often confused and unsure what is happening in their minds. When psychotic symptoms start impairing everyday functioning and last for several days, a person is considered to be experiencing a psychotic episode. Here are the most common signs and symptoms that a person is experiencing a psychotic episode. The first set of symptoms has to do with hallucinations. Most common type of hallucinations during an episode are auditory and visual hallucinations. Another central feature of psychosis has to do with delusions. Delusions are strong beliefs that are not consistent with the person's culture. The delusional beliefs do not match reality and will be considered irrational to other people. An example of delusional thinking could involve the person having a strong belief that they're being spied on, tracked, or followed with the intention of being harmed, thus feeling paranoid. A person experiencing a psychotic episode will have problems organizing their thoughts, such that they can appear confused, and they may have difficulty communicating with others. They can also display strong and inappropriate emotions and can become easily fearful, or they may exhibit no emotions at all, such as having a flat facial expression or trouble with eye-to-eye contact. Often, you will notice sudden decline in their ability to take care of themselves and meet their obligations at school or work. It's also typical that people will withdraw from family and friends and isolate themselves, and in some situations develop distrust in others. If you would like more information about symptoms of psychosis, I invite you to watch our other videos from our website. For now, let's turn to our next question. What are some important things to consider before you approach someone about your concerns? Place. In general, people accept concern and intervention better when the environment is safe and predictable, and where collaboration appears present and possible. For instance, is there a certain part of their home where they typically feel safe and comfortable? Relationships. Usually, concerns coming from a trusted person are likely to make a greater impact than concerns from an unknown person. Familiarity can help with predictability. State of mind. It's important to be aware that a person's symptoms will impact their responsiveness. Symptoms such as paranoia may generate stronger defensiveness and feelings of threat. A young person with psychosis may feel misunderstood or judged by others and may not be open to your input. Let's talk about some common responses you may encounter. Denial or refusal that what you are pointing out is actually happening. Keep in mind that denial may be present for different reasons that could include the person experiencing delusional thinking. Also, the person may have some recognition that they are experiencing signs of a mental illness, but they're too fearful to acknowledge these symptoms because of what they believe may occur if they do so. Defensiveness is another typical response. It's a common reaction to protect our experiences from the judgment of others, even if we are judging them ourselves. A person may respond with confusion about concerns. This is likely due to symptoms they are experiencing, which can affect how they process information. Fear and anxiety may present themselves in different ways. For instance, a person may be fearful that they will be locked up in a hospital against their will. Anger and aggression. Unfortunately, this has become the response that most easily comes to mind when people think about psychosis. However, this is not necessarily the most common response of individuals experiencing psychosis. And when anger and aggression are present, it is most often in response to a perceived threat. These responses make sense. At this time, some of you may be asking yourself, why would a person suffering from psychosis respond with defensiveness? Keep in mind that a person suffering with delusions and hallucinations are experiencing something they perceive as very real. Now, take a moment and try to imagine how you might react if someone were telling you that what you believe to be real, especially if it was something that was fundamental to your life experience, is not real, or it's all in your head. It's possible you may get irritated and defensive, or maybe even scared. I offered information about the type of responses you may encounter during these situations. Next, I'll review some basic engagement behaviors that can help set the stage for a more successful conversation. Keep in mind that there may be several issues in this situation that are outside of your control. However, your approach and response are things you can control. If nothing else, you can help create an environment that feels safe for the person. The goal of this interaction is to engage the young person in a conversation that is more likely to support collaboration on a plan for getting help. One of the things to consider is that this encounter may not turn out how you want. However, you still have a critical role, as you may be the first conversation that helps support a future interaction that can eventually connect a person to treatment. These are some basic communication skills that many of us use often and are probably not aware that we are using these skills and techniques in everyday conversation. The first set of communication skills has to do with verbal behavior. A useful strategy is to set the stage by discussing less serious and non-threatening topics before initiating questions. If possible, try to prepare 2 to 3 questions to start. You will likely have a lot of questions on your mind and feel anxious, scared, or confused. Using simple and direct questions is the most helpful approach. Some common examples may be, "You seem anxious. What's on your mind? Are you feeling confused about anything? Are you hearing something that I can't hear?" You can help yourself by modeling stability and calmness through the tone of your speech. Using a neutral tone that's not overloaded with emotion. It's okay to practice before you ask questions. Also, try to keep an even pace to the tempo of your speech. Empathy is the concept of being able to put yourself in someone else's place and try to understand their experience. This is different from sympathy, which reflects understanding what someone goes through because you have been through it yourself. The goal of empathy is to demonstrate your investment in trying to understand the other person's situation or experience. Here are some examples of how you can verbally demonstrate empathy. Show that you are listening by responding to statements with brief displays of understanding, by saying things such as, "Yes," "Okay," "I see." Another way to show that you are actively listening is to repeat what is being said or offer a summary of what the person has said. Keep in mind that you may hear things that do not make rational sense. Check for the accuracy after you summarize, such as, "Do I have that right?" As you can see, these are basic communication skills that many people use. Remember, the goal at this point is to build trust and collaboration and to demonstrate understanding of the person's experience. Nonverbal communication is very important. Some examples include body language. The way we physically present ourselves in situations can communicate how we feel about being there and how we feel toward other people who may be involved or present. For instance, avoid crossing your arms and legs and try to approach with arms at your sides. This body language demonstrates to the person that you're interested and invested in being there. Although you may be nervous, appear as calm as possible. Try to keep nervous habits to a minimum. Eye contact. Maintaining good eye contact shows that you're listening. Most people tend to look down or away when confronted with information that makes us uncomfortable. Keep in mind that the young person you're trying to communicate with may show poor eye contact. Even if they do, this is about you demonstrating attentiveness and understanding. Personal space. This is typically a personal preference for each of us. Keep in mind that boundaries can shift during intense situations, and your family member may need space to process the information talked about. Another important consideration when providing personal space is your safety. A person experiencing psychosis may respond to their emotions by pacing, throwing items, or with violence. Although physical aggression is unlikely, it is always possible. As a result, it's important to provide space for yourself. If it is necessary to move or make physical contact, it's helpful to ask for permission first, so the person feels a sense of control. This brings us to safety considerations. The techniques discussed to this point relate to helping family and friends identify symptoms of a first psychotic episode and how to approach a young person to help them engage in treatment. Unfortunately, there are times when a person experiencing symptoms may be at imminent risk to themselves or others, thus leading to a mental health crisis. A formal and thorough assessment of safety should be left to a qualified mental health professional. Although it may seem heavy-handed at times, safety is the foremost concern during moments of crisis. It's better to respond conservatively than not respond at all. When in doubt about safety, call 911. Crisis services. Community-wide crisis services can be reached at 520-622-6000. If someone is struggling or in crisis, help is available. Call or text 988 or chat 988lifeline.org. Much of the information outlined in this video is provided by the book, The Psychosis Response Guide. In conclusion, Epicenter is a specialized early intervention program at the University of Arizona, located at Banner's Whole Health Clinic in Tucson, Arizona. The Epicenter provides phase-specific services to adolescents and young adults with early onset psychosis and to their families. Our services are comprehensive, bilingual, and covered by insurance. If you would like to refer someone, or if you would like for one of our team members to provide information about early psychosis, please contact us. We hope you found this information helpful. We wish you well wherever you are.